All right, what's my problem? There's my steering box, okay? Going to zoom in, see the two lines right there? Now the line on the right of the screen, closest to the front bumper, is the high pressure end. So I'm gonna open up that line and verify that I have flow through it. Because one of the scenarios for the problem that I'm having is the inside collapse on a line and it cavitates violently inside the reservoir, okay? Now it's very vicious. So look at that. So now after I turn the wheel, this is the second time I started it. Now look how vicious it is inside the reservoir. Now I've turned this steering wheel and bled this out in manual 24 times. Did it under load a couple dozen times. Okay, so that close line right there, the one to the right of the screen, I'm shining the light on it, closest to the front bumper, farthest away from the firewall, is the high pressure end. Gonna open that 18 millimeter up, start the Jeep for a couple of seconds. I'll probably wrap a bag around it and verify I'm getting some pressure. All right, so what's my problem? I punch it into the AI. I cannot turn these wheels on asphalt. Cement, no problem, full left, full right, can turn them all day long. Drive the Jeep out, 20 feet onto the asphalt, instant resistance trying to turn left or right. After I put a second steering pump in, a new steering pump. So I punched my problem into AI on Google, and it says I have one of two problems, either a collapsed high pressure line going to the steering box, which creates like a check valve, or catastrophic detrimental failure inside the steering box itself. So basically the piston in there is never getting the high pressure fluid. It's going right back into the steering reservoir, which would explain that crazy high cavitation that I'm having and the lack of any steering left or right under load on asphalt. Okay, let's see if I can get a little light on that. There we go, it's right underneath that line right there. There it is. You can see I got some penetrating oil on it so that I could, because don't forget that nut piece right there needs to swivel around the line or else you'll shear the line. And there was some serious corrosion. It was very difficult to break that one. The low pressure one broke easy, but the high pressure one into the steering box from the pump was very difficult to break it. Then I got some oil and now she's turning pretty good. So that should come out very soon. Okay, you can see that I actually broke both lines. There we go. You can see that nasty mess right there. That first port that you see, that's high pressure in. And then the return line is closest to the firewall. See it right there. So as crazy as it sounds, I'm going to try to put some kind of bag around that high pressure line right there. There it is sitting up against the box. I'll try to enclose that and start it up for a second. See what happens. Yeah, so this looks a little crazy, but I wanted that air temp switch plugged in so that I won't pop a code. What I did, let me get the flashlight. I basically have a 1 gallon plastic Ziploc bag around the high pressure into the steering box line. All right, there you go. So you can see down in there that the high pressure in is around that baggie. So I would think even just a couple of seconds of turning this thing over, if this thing's pumping, something should happen. Okay, folks, there you go. Filled up that baggie. Started the Jeep for like 2 seconds. You can see filled it right up. So clearly I don't have blockage on that high pressure line. There you go. 2 seconds of running. That line pumped that reservoir down. Obviously I had it topped off and filled this bag. I'll take it out in the sun. I mean, I had recently flushed this line. I can't imagine there's any solids in there. I don't believe so. All right, to take this steering box out, you can see I disconnected the sway bar end links so I can move the sway bar down because I got to be able to access those 4 bolts. I already have the pressure line into the box and the return line disconnected from the box. I got to undo the drag link from the pitman arm and take a hammer and get that to drop down. You can see the track bar has been completely disconnected. I had to jack up the Jeep a little bit to get the flex to pry that thing out of that Steer Smarts track bar reinforcement bracket. So yeah, just doing a little prep work here. I don't know how far I'm gonna go today, but honestly, pretty disgusted. It's just been one of these ongoing, frustrating problems. All right, no worries. You can see I backed off the nut except for a few threads. Just used a regular long nose hammer and half a dozen taps. Of course, this is a brand new drag link end. I just recently replaced this. So we'll just get this out of the way. All right, obviously I'll be disconnecting the steering shaft that comes through the firewall to the input of the steering box. So I've done this before. Just wrap the seat belt nice and tight around the steering wheel, locked it in. So in case I disconnect this thing, she doesn't spin like crazy and break the clock spring inside the steering column. Got the drag link disconnected from the pitman arm. So basically I got the 4 bolts for the box through the Steer Smarts bracket. And obviously to get at a couple of those, I'll have to put a ratchet strap on this spring, pull it back so I can access those back 2 bolts. But the other thing I got to do is get at that 13 millimeter head. You can just see the back of the bolt right there is the back. So right now it's on the inside there. All right. Can you see that damn thing in there? Not really, huh? Well, there's a 13 millimeter bolt. Let's see if I can get a look from... All right, I'm shining the light on the steering shaft, which goes to like a nice little U-joint. And it's basically a C-clamp around the square shank, which is the input to the steering box. So I loosened up that bolt. If you can see it right there. Yeah, I got that bolt head nice and loose. I'm gonna have to take a screwdriver and open up that clamp, but I should be able to pull the box out of there now after I undo those bolts. Okay, there's the best look at it from underneath. You can see that I backed off that bolt about 3/8 of an inch. Take a screwdriver and just tap it in that little C-clamp right there, just to make a little more room. And then when the time comes, the input shaft to the box should pull right out of that, no problem. Just a little old rusty come along here on the spring. Move that right out of the way so I can access those bolts. Okay, for me to get that slip fitting over the input shaft, I had to actually remove the bolt completely that goes through that clamp. So now I got good movement. So now I undo that last bolt on the box. I should be able to get this box out. All right, that was a lot of fun. I ended up with the reservoir out, which you need to anyway. I strapped those lines up nice and high. Once again, this is the high pressure in, this is the return. So there's my box, modeled off of the Saginaw 800. Been around for many, many years. Pitman arm's still on it, as you can see. You'll notice I have a strange nut instead of that washer because that went through a bearing on the Steer Smarts sector shaft track bar reinforcement bracket, which I like the track bar portion, but the bearing part on the sector shaft I thought was a piece of shit. So anyway, steering box is out. Gonna clean. There she is. I don't know, maybe an hour by myself. Not bad. One JK stock steering box removed. As you can see, pitman arm still on it. The Steer Smarts sector shaft brace nut, which is what gets used to go up against the pitman arm. Perhaps later on I'll take that off. I forget, it's like 44 mil. I do have a pitman arm puller, but anyway, be that as it may, I'm either gonna get another used box from a good friend in the club who knows a guy that's parting out a Jeep, or I'll just buy a new one. We'll see how it goes. All right, once again, what was my problem? Power steering not working when the Jeep's on asphalt. If the axle was in the air, obviously I could use the power steering, turn the wheels left and right, no problem. If I drop the Jeep down onto this smooth cement, I could turn the wheels left and right, no problem. Drive it 20 feet forward in asphalt at a standstill, try to turn the wheel left and right, immediate resistance and bind. I had no mechanical issues. When the axle was off the ground, I could move. I could take the tires, move them full left, full right, no problem. This was a brand new power steering pump, brand new reservoir, completely flushed the lines. I mean, flushed them till I had all brand new Mopar ATF plus 4. No change, same problem. So then I used the AI and I put that particular problem into Google. And it said one of two possibilities. And the other symptom too I should mention is that I had very vicious cavitation inside the reservoir. I mean, it was like a storm inside the reservoir, okay? Not a smooth flow whatsoever, like high pressure storm. So the two solutions were, it's possible that the high pressure line can collapse on itself, creating a check valve, under which case you would have massive cavitation. So I disconnected the high pressure line from the steering box, wrapped it in a large clear bag, started the Jeep for a few seconds, topped off the reservoir, and boom, in 2 seconds, filled it up a quart, no problem. I mean, I definitely had flow. So at that point, the only other option was some type of valve has failed an interior component of the steering box. So the hydraulic pressure is basically never getting the piston in there at all. It's just bypassing it and going right back into the reservoir. So sadly, that's, what else can it be, right? I mean, there's no cooler, there's nothing else in the system. So I pulled that steering box this morning. Gonna perhaps go with a used steering box from a friend of a friend in the Jeep Club. He's parting out a Rubicon. Or just buy another OEM style steering box. Not in a position to go with the PSC big bore yet because of everything that involves with going with the new pump, etc. And without even trying, you're over $2,000. So anyway, that's where I am today. Very interesting problem, frustrating problem for sure, but hopefully we'll get there.